Enzo Maresca going with some risky tactics against Leicester City this match. And yes, it did pay off. Obviously, Chelsea winning 1-0 against a bottom half table. And yes, we do have to give credit to Cucurella with his phenomenal strike. We will talk about him a little bit later in this video. But really, it is quite remarkable that we are relying on a left back to win us all 3 points. And this isn't even the first match that Cucurella has been a stellar player and has gotten us 3 points. So again, Enzo Maresca obviously needs to thank this player. And at the beginning of the season, I would have never thought that Cucurella would have been our guy that we would have been just relying on so heavily, and possibly he is the player of the season for Chelsea right now. Now again, we won't get into a whole conversation about that. That will be a whole nother video. But the first thing we do need to talk about tactics wise are the selection of players that Enzo Maresca went with in this match. And yes, it did make sense. We just had our conference match last week. We have one coming up this Thursday, so obviously we need to rotate some players. Reece James being one of those big players who did not play in this match, and again, it makes sense they did not play. He played so many minutes last Thursday, and he's probably going to play again this upcoming Thursday. We know how injury prone this guy can be, especially with the hamstrings. We do not want to risk any injuries, especially this late in the season, where he can be very critical for Chelsea. Obviously, we are now in the top 4, and we will need Reece James to continue to make our way up into possibly second position, which is still mind-boggling to know that we're only 6 points behind Arsenal with 10 matches left to go for second place. Obviously, the league is done. Liverpool are winning it, but Chelsea right now could still finish second this season, which again is quite remarkable. But that was the first thing. The other thing we did see here was Wesley Fofana getting his first start since being out injured for how many months. This is a big thing as well too, because we were taking the risk on bringing him back so quickly and throwing him in there. Obviously, Trevor Chalobah was fully fit, did come on in later, but to stick Wesley Fofana in the starting 11 again was a big risk that Enzo Maresca took, and it did pay dividends because he was phenomenal this match. Made multiple block crosses, block shots, was a guy that really just was a stonewall. Him and Tosin, I think, did a phenomenal job this match. And yes, again, you could argue it is Leicester City. We shouldn't be struggling against them, and we did struggle a little bit against them, but we still kept the clean sheet. And this is where we also need to talk about Robert Sanchez getting the start again this match, which is quite surprising because I thought Jorgensen, yes, did have that one error a couple matches ago, and I didn't think that we were going to see Robert Sanchez start any more matches this season. Shows up today and plays possibly one of his best matches this match. Yes, like I said, again, it was Leicester City, but he still made some pretty big saves. And yes, Leicester did have a few opportunities, but every time they had a shot, he was there, made some big saves, and overall, I think he played pretty well. And this could be another arc for Robert Sanchez to start more matches for the rest of the season. And it's going to be a coin flip, I feel like, for the rest of the season with him and Jorgensen. I do not know how Enzo Maresca is going to pick that. Now, the last thing we do need to talk about, the risky part, was playing Caicedo in this match as well, because as we know, Caicedo was sitting on that one yellow card. If he picked up one more, it would mean that he would be going to miss the Arsenal-Tottenham game. Did not pick that up, which is huge for us because now he can go into that match and we can possibly beat Arsenal. And like we just said earlier in this video, if we get all 3 points from them, we're only 3 points behind them in second place. So again, it is quite remarkable the gambles that Enzo Maresca took in this match, and again, it made perfect sense because it did work out. Now, yes, you could say we only won 1-0, but a win is a win. And the guy we need to talk about, though, from this match is Cole Palmer. This was a match, and I didn't even think last match too against Copenhagen. These two last matches were definitely matches for him to step up. Had a PK, finally had one block, missed his 13th one for a consecutive PK in a row. So again, this guy right now is in a little bit of a slump, and which is a shame because he obviously is a great player, but things are not connecting for him right now. He just can't seem to get his rhythm back that he had early in the season. I don't know what happened in December, but since then, he has not been the same player. And maybe if we do bench him for a match, this might make a difference because it might give him just a little bit to think about and really give him that burning sensation to get back to where he was and help us out. Now, I don't think we should be benching him against Copenhagen or Arsenal, but maybe the Tottenham match. So again, there is the possibility we could do that, but overall, we probably should be starting at Cole Palmer. Let's be real here, because again, he is one of our better players. It would be almost unthinkable to bench him, but like I said, maybe that is what he does need, or again, changing it up just a little bit, because he did come off earlier in this match, which again was well deserved because the rest of the team was playing well. I think Akuku did a phenomenal job, Neto, even Sancho. So again, those three players definitely didn't deserve to come off before Cole Palmer. And like I said, Neto has been playing well up top. He's been able to make those through runs, and Kuka's been able to play off him as well. So again, these two guys have been playing quite well. I don't know what happens when Nico Jackson comes back, because obviously he is going to slot and take one of those positions. But that being said, I think Neto right now is proving a point to be a starting player for us right now and actually play as our number 9. He hasn't scored, but again, he is still that guy that is creating chances, creating spaces, and making there these huge gaps for other players to, again, find the ball, find pockets of space, and find the back of the net. And that's exactly what happened with the Cucurella goal, because as Neto is driving forward and Cuckoo's driving forward as well, and I can't remember who plays the ball back to him. I think it was Enzo Fernandez, but whoever plays it to him, he then cracks it from like 20 yards out, because it's all these players driving. The defenders have to drop back, and yes, it is a great shot from Cucurella, but like I said, the reason why he has all that space is because how our attacking players are driving forward. And like I said, I don't think this gets enough credit, not just for Chelsea, but for all players that, again, do all this grunt work that goes unnoticed, because it's not a stat you're ever going to see, but because of this, it really helps the team out for the most part. Overall, this was a big match for Chelsea. We needed all 3 points. We leapfrogged Manchester City, are now sitting in 4th position. This right now could be a huge momentum change for Chelsea, because if now we go on to beat Copenhagen in the second leg at Stamford Bridge, we move on from there, we beat Arsenal, these things start adding up, and really, the end of the season could still be phenomenal for Chelsea, depending on where we finish in the league table. And if we do lift one silverware with the Conference League, I think we should still be doing that. But overall, I think Enzo Maresca took the gamble paid off, and now we're going to see what happens for these next couple matches. And the same thing for Caicedo yet, though. If he does pick up that yellow card, he will miss those next couple matches. So again, there still will be that gamble, but he obviously should be starting against Arsenal, because we do need him in the midfield. Overall, though, I think Chelsea played a great game. Yes, we did miss a few opportunities. That did happen, but like I said, we still got the win, got all 3 points, so I'm happy, and hopefully we can continue this win streak, because I think that is now 3 in a row, which again is massive for this club and for the players, helps build the confidence, and again gets Chelsea going in the right direction. If you enjoyed this video, I greatly appreciate if you do hit the like button, subscribe down below, and I will see you in our next video.